Much for joining. Oh, there we go. Thank you guys for joining and for showing up on a snow day. I know, or ice day, I guess I would say. I hope you guys are all staying warm and cozy at home. I know that we all might have our snow day looks on, and that's totally fine. But if you can, turn on your cameras. I do have little ones running around, so you might hear them as well. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Maria Galgano, and I've been licensed since April of 2021 and have been with KW since the beginning. I'm also one of your ALC agent leadership council people. So if you ever need some help with the Market Center or any trainings or any questions, you can always give us a call. And I'm really excited to be here with you guys. So how do I get a tropical background? I want one. You can go to settings and change it. Yeah. I'm also one of your bilingual realtors in our Market Center. I speak English and Spanish, and I am very passionate about serving the Hispanic community. So if you guys ever have, oh, baby, sorry, come here, baby. Come sit with mama. Yeah. Come here. Sorry, guys.
We love Atlas. Hey, buddy.
Say hi. You want to say hi? All right. So today we're gonna go over how to generate leads. And I know that lead generation is the favorite thing for all of us to do. How many of you guys like lead generation? All right, we're gonna go through 2 hours of learning sessions. We're gonna go through success system in class, and I hope to have some active participation. I know that it's a little bit hard through Zoom, but I'll be asking you guys to participate. And if you can use the raise your hand button on there as well, if there's multiple conversations going on, that'll be super, super helpful. We're going to be going through 4 sections, and it's going to be us as the real estate expert, our lead generation, our lead follow-up, and transactions. Sorry, guys, I'm wrangling my little one. All right, let's see. Huh? Okay. Today, we begin our lead generation segment. And as you guys know, we need to find our people, right? So we need to figure out where we're getting our lead generation sources and who those people are. And without lead follow-up, we don't have a good system. Yeah, Atlas Talk, yeah. Atlas Talk, yeah, baby. No. Okay, was everyone able to meet with their accountability partner last week?
You guys can come off mute and let us know. Did you guys meet with your accountability partners?
No. Yes. Thumbs up.
Dave and I were going to meet. Dave and I were going to meet right before class today, but we couldn't do that. I guess we should have phoned one another. Didn't think about that.
That works. And what about you, Jeff? Mary?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we've met on text, and we're planning on meeting in the morning, either before or after the meeting.
Awesome. Okay, so for today's agenda, we're going to go over the lead generator, which is us, your lead generation model, your sphere of influence, expanding your sphere of influence, your lead gen best practices, and then we'll go over our ahas. So by the end of this session, you'll be able to generate business from the people you know and the people that know you. You'll be able to identify your sphere of influence and calculate the potential income opportunity, categorize your sphere of influence and expand your reach, apply best practices of lead generation. So start thinking about what you will learn today, and let's consider what questions we might have and what we'd like to learn more about. And let's see, we should be able to find a partner to have a 5-minute conversation about questions. So we'll just do it in turns through Zoom. Okay, come on, baby. Sorry, guys, wrangling. So first, let's talk about what you already know about lead generation. What do you guys know about lead generation?
We have to keep it going even after we have clients, because if we don't keep it going, then we won't have any more clients.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
Hi.
Jeff?
Yeah, so I don't really think of it as lead generation because that to me is work and laborious. I try to think of it as just connecting with my sphere and having conversations and adding value to them and just reaching out and making phone calls or text or email, however that person likes to communicate. And I think the attitude of lead generation is the key. And to me, I just don't think of it as lead generation. I think of it as building relationships. And I enjoy doing that. I don't enjoy lead generation. But when you're building relationships organically, real estate comes up. And if it doesn't, you can sneak it into the conversation a little bit, because you're going to talk about what they're doing in their vocation. And then it's just naturally going to come back to, well, how are you doing in your vocation? And so, yeah, I just like to think of it as building relationship instead of lead generation.
Thank you so much for sharing, Jeff. Anyone else want to share?
I mean, I think that is 100% accurate what Jeff said. This is a human to human business, right? And it is all about relationship building. And so I hate using the word lead generation. I love using the word like relationship building or networking or something along those lines. So very good. I think I interrupted somebody. Mary, was that you?
Yes, I didn't realize I didn't even know how to. This is my first time doing it. So, but lead generation is definitely something I was. Lead gen and contracts were like my most terrifying thing to attempt, but I'm learning that it's definitely something I'm just gonna have to push past. And basically, like Jeff said, it's just about building relationships, and I am good at that. So I feel like I'm excited about this course here because I feel like it's gonna definitely build my knowledge in it, and knowledge is power, and I'm ready to learn it.
I love that. Yay. Thank you guys for sharing. That's awesome. So Gary Keller said, my fear of failure was greater than my fear of lead generating. So how many of us can relate to that? I can definitely relate to that. Can we all relate to that? Yeah. So we'll begin this discussion with mindset. It really is truly about all about mindset. And I love what you guys are saying about it's not lead generating, it's relationship building time. And when you detach the activity from the outcome, it becomes a lot easier. So please turn to your books on the 6 core competencies of a business. You first learned about these 6 core competencies in session 2. And lead generation is job number 1. Leads fuel your business, helping you reach the goal you have set for yourself. The more leads you have, the more business and success you have. So who can tell me some of the ways that you can lead generate?
Unmute. There we go. I like the newsletter part of it. I'm really excited about that. I've started getting emails because I didn't have emails on anybody. And so that is something that I'm really working on and excited to get going.
Anyone else?
I like FISBOs and canceled and expireds. True lead gen.
I see Anne had her hand up.
So, social media, open houses, those are two that I'm starting to become really familiar with.
Yep. So lead generation includes talking to people about buying and selling real estate daily, capturing accurate contact information. This includes name, phone number, email, home address, and any other information a person is willing to give you. And converting leads to appointment. This is when you find, the active buyers and sellers, you set an appointment to meet and agree to work together in the process of real estate. So in the next 5 days, you will learn a bunch of different methods for where and how we can gain leads. So what do you think are some of the lead generation fears that we have and myths, limiting beliefs that we tell ourselves, let's say?
Nobody wants to talk to me.
Yeah. What
I mean,
else?
I'm living their life.
Mm-hmm.
The fear I had going into this in the beginning was like, how do I get contacts? Like, what do I do? Which I've obviously learned that I'm going to learn how to do that. But that was a fear that I had in the beginning. Like, how do you even start to get leads? Like,
Where do I even get the business? Someone said it will be unproductive and I will waste time. Wow. Well, guess what? These are the exact fears that Gary Keller had when he started out in business, and you can read about it in Shift on page 52, which if you haven't, you should totally check that book out. It's awesome. So who wants to go ahead and read some of Gary's fears?
I can.
Okay.
I think lead generation is really difficult. I don't have time to lead generate. I don't know what to say, and I'm afraid of making mistakes.
Wow. So Gary Keller was also scared. So it's normal to be scared. Okay. So, and this is what he discovered to erase his limited thinking. Jot these down in your participant guide. I'll leave this up for you guys to see. I think lead generation is really difficult. I was confusing effort with enjoyment. Lead generation is actually easy. It's just not fun. I don't have time to lead generate. I had an issue of making time to lead generate and protecting that time. How many of us have lead gen blocked on our calendars and disrespect that time? How many of us are not going to disrespect that time after we're done with this class? Okay, I don't know what to say. He said, I had to get on a path of mastering the dialogue skills needed in this business. How many of us practice script practice? Who has a script practice accountability buddy in this group? Who would like an accountability script practice buddy in this group? You can just raise your hand. All right. So if you raise your hand and you're in this group, you can get together with someone in this group and script practice together. And then now you will have someone to practice with. I'm afraid of making mistakes. Oh. I found that lead generation is nothing more than a set of tasks and skills that are well documented. So how do we get better at doing what we do?
Do it more. Get comfortable with doing it daily.
Mm-hmm. So if we're not doing the activities, then how are we gonna get better?
Yeah, we're not gonna get lead. We're not gonna get comfortable with it. We're
Correct.
not gonna grow our business.
Mhm. Anna said, I'm afraid people will think less of me. I listened to the MREA podcast episode 1, and there was a guy on there who wrote a book called Exactly What to Say in Real Estate. Sounds good. You should definitely check it out. If you can listen to the MREA podcast too, the Think Like a CEO podcast is also good. Check it out, guys. Just continue taking that information in. So finally, Gary Keller discovered that time on the task over time was the simple secret to his success. All right. Lead generation is the #1 key to being successful in real estate. It doesn't matter how great you are at selling houses. If no one knows you're in the business of selling houses, and if they do not feel connected to you in a way that has them reach out when they are ready to sell, why are you in real estate? I've got great news though. You already have 2 key components to lead generate: a sphere of influence, or SOI, and a database. So how many of us have people that we know? Right? We all have people that we know. That's our sphere of influence. That is your barber, your haircut lady, your mailman, your neighbor next door, your kid's teacher, your peg groomer. That's your sphere of influence. How do you access this group of people? Who can tell me how you can access this group of people?
By building relationship and rapport and just following up, which I'm actually very appreciative, because with my last position, I just let that job take over my life. So now I'm being able to be more intentional about the relationships that I wanted to be more consistent with in a way.
Jeff?
I think Keller Williams offers a great CRM system through Command. That was one of the things that attracted me to Keller Williams after being with Remax for 14 and a half years. So as the new people get started, you know, taking all of your contacts off of Facebook, taking all of your contacts off of your phone, and putting them into that CRM is going to be paramount for starting to get leads and starting to build business.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Anyone else? Okay. So we're going to do a little exercise here, just so that we can really see the opportunity that we have here that we might not be paying attention to. So everyone get out your phone and go to your contacts. You're gonna change the commission on the slide to be the average commission in our market, which is 7,500. So right here, where it says 500, you'll change it to 5,000, you'll change it to 7,500. Okay. So now I want you to scroll down to the bottom, at the very bottom of your contact list. You should be able to find the total number of contacts in your phone. I don't know if it's the same for Android or not. Now you'll write that number on line A in your participant guide. Okay. So according to the National Association of Realtors, the typical person moves every 8 years. And according to the 2020 census, the homeownership rate in the US is 64.8%. If we can assume that 64.8% of your database is a homeowner and they will move every 8 years, this means that 8.1% or 0.8 or 0.081 of your database will buy and sell a home every 8 years. So let's use these numbers to figure out how many people you already know who are going to buy or sell this year. To do this, you're going to multiply the number of contacts in your phone by 0.081 and put the result on line B. Go ahead and round down so we can be conservative. As you can see on the screen, in the example on the slide, if you know 250 people, then it's likely that 20 of them will buy or sell a house this year. 20. Now let's go further. Let's assume that all of the people in your SOI, 10% of them refer you a client this year. That seems doable, right? Yeah. On line C, multiply your number of contacts by 1. By 0.1, sorry. This is how many referrals you would get if just 10% of the people you know referred you business. So how many of you ask your clients for a referral throughout the transaction? Yeah. How many of you have received a referral from a client before? Yeah. How many of you will start asking for a referral from your clients? Yeah. Okay.
So I get a question. So you do that like actually through the process or at the end? I think through my studies, I seen like as you were like, they were signing something, maybe the closing and stuff is when they asked for like, if they knew 5 people that would be maybe buying or selling.
Yeah, so something that Monica Reynolds says is the promise. So it's the promise of you know, we're gonna ask you for business throughout the transaction. So throughout the transaction, we say, hey, do you know of anyone that you think could be interested in buying or selling and investing in real estate? And then
Okay.
you just make it part of your conversation, and you can tell it can be very casual, like, you know, my business is based off of referral, and I would greatly appreciate, you know, if you thought of someone that is wanting to buy or sell, and you just make conversation off of that.
That's good. Thank you.
Okay, so now on line D, you're gonna add line B to line C, and you get your potential sales for this year just from your SOI. And a pretty conservative number of people they could refer you to. In our example, it's 45 people. Now let's take the number of home sales by those you know and trust and the people they could refer you to by multiplying the average commission here. So we changed it to 7,500. And if you want to take this a step further to know how much that can add up to in gross commission income, you can multiply line D by our average commission, who can give me the total that came up to be, the income opportunity. Or would anyone like to share their numbers?
So I couldn't find my contact amount, so I just used the 250 so I can move on. But 75 times the 45 would be 337,500. Is that right?
Yeah. You could even do it with the amount of Facebook friends that you have, Instagram, TikTok, MySpace. 409.95, 352. Wow, yeah. Think about that. A device you already use daily has the potential to become a powerful tool for your business. How many of you are calling those contacts on your phones to let them know you're in real estate? Okay. So your SOI is your database. We already covered how many people you have in your phone and how many potential sales they represent in the next year. If you want to write that down on a piece of paper to, you know, keep it handy on the next to you, you can. Your contact list is a database. Your social media is another potential database. If you don't have people's phone numbers, you should be every day you should be feeding your database. Go 5 people each day. You know, do I have name, phone number, address, email? That way you can stay in touch with them. If we're going to be in relationship with our contacts in a professional sense, we need to have them organized and accessible in a smart database. Though your phone may be smart, it's unlikely that your database is yet. So today we will touch a bit on feeding your database, and in the next session, we will cover how to make your database smart. You have an SOI, a database, and you've been generating leads from that database by communicating with it strategically. Now, how have we already been lead generating in this class? What tool or system have we been using?
I've been texting friends and letting them know I've been challenged to get their email for my future newsletter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Perfect. What are your ahas about being the lead generator for your business? How might you shift your mindset to overcome your fears about the lead generation process? I have been seriously underrating the value of my SOI. That's awesome. I mean, it's not awesome, but it's awesome that now you're aware of that. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. So lead generation model. Now that you've already begun lead generating, you have a database. I've had a number of, sorry guys, I'm chat. I've had a number of conversations with my SOI. They have all been positive. Yeah, they know you. They know you, they have you as a friend, you have their number. They gave you their number for a reason. So you already have that relationship with them. They have you on social media, they're following you for a reason. You know, so don't be scared to have conversations with them. So now that you've already begun lead generating, you have a database and an SOI. Let's dig into the most important model in your business, and that's the lead generation model. Who has a lead generation model? It's okay if you don't. That's why we're here. So lead generation, you will hear this over and over again throughout your career. Sometimes we'll roll our eyes, sometimes we'll giggle, sometimes we'll run away from Shanna. But it really is the most important activity. It's the first thing you need to know to start your real estate business, and it's the last thing you will give up doing yourself if you decide to start a team and leverage your business to the point that you are no longer involved in the day-to-day running of it. Think about that. What we're learning today is the foundation for a million, multi-million, and even billion-dollar business. And remember that, as one of our bold rules is, what you focus on expands. So if you focus on your lead generation, your business is going to expand. This is also why your time each day completing your daily success system along with your peers and facilitators is so important. Now we're going to refer to the lead generation and database model in your participant guide. And as you've learned, KW has a model for everything. It makes sense that there would be a model for your number one job, lead generation. Though it may look complicated, it's about one thing, relationships. And we've been talking about that since the beginning. You are in the relationship business. The more relationships you have, the more business you have. This model tells us how to get into relationships with people, stay in relationship with them, and be their real estate expert of choice to buy and sell real estate. So lead generation is prospecting and marketing are lead generation activities that deliver leads into your business. So you capture a lead, you prospect and market it. This is your database. It's simply getting people into your database so you can track your relationship with them. And as you can see at the top of the model, there are two different activities that can bring leads into your business, which is the prospecting and the marketing. You can never have too many leads, and there are a lot of leads, or a quantity of leads gives you good quality ones. Now, if you turn to the prospecting versus marketing page in your participant guide, it is best practice to generate leads through prospecting-based, marketing-enhanced approach. Who can tell me what you think that means? So prospecting-based, marketing-enhanced.
So you are focusing most of your efforts on the prospecting, but you are supplementing with the marketing.
Yep. Jeff?
Well, when I think of marketing, and I could be wrong, but just for my business, when I think of marketing, I think of spending money for advertising.
Mhm.
And not only ratio wise is it not as effective, but there's this thing out there, I think, especially in our day and age, with all the political stuff going on, all the misinformation, lots of things going on, where people have less trust for people.
Mhm.
So when a person comes on the trusted arm of a friend, they automatically trust you
Mhm.
because they trust their friend that recommended you. Whereas when you spend money on advertising, that person comes to you very, very cautiously, and your first act of business will have to be to gain their trust, because they came and they connected with you because of your advertising. And I would also say you'll have to sell yourself, and usually in competition with several other realtors. Whereas again, if I come on the trusted arm of a friend, then I trust you because my friend trusts you. And the business starts off on a much more solid footing.
Mhm.
And then we can begin to add value, and we can begin to share our expertise, and we can begin to really help them succeed in what their goal is to buy, sell, or invest in real estate.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. That's why it's so important that we stay prospecting based and marketing enhanced, because prospecting is a proactive and direct, like you're saying, approach where you're actively searching for your leads. Now prospecting is low cost to no cost, because it's your database, you can use your database. It can yield you quantity of leads, which then gives you good quality leads. It helps you establish personal relationships, keeps you in direct contact with the market of the moment, and it increases your confidence and skill. With marketing, you are putting your information out there to attract leads through sources like social media or print ads, radio ads, promotional material, etc., all the things that we have. And we will talk more about this in some of the other sessions, because there are successful ways of doing both, but you can't just have one. So the market, your preferences, your budget, and your goals will usually dictate the type of lead generation you enjoy. So any activities that you enjoy doing, someone tell me something that you'd like doing, that you enjoy doing for fun. Anyone?
Playing golf.
Playing golf, there you go. So how can that be a good lead generation source?
Talk about real estate with who you play golf with.
Yeah. Yeah,
I do that a lot.
yeah. So some of the types of lead generation that you can employ is building relationship through that, kids games. Lead generation through that. Top agents track their most productive lead sources, which usually are sphere of influence, repeat business, referrals, and online and offline advertising like direct mail, yard signs, etc. Who here is tracking your lead sources? Why do we think that's important?
To know where we want to spend our time and our effort.
Yeah. So no single approach or method will bring you all the leads you need to reach your goals. A blended approach works best, and no matter your approach, you should always be offering some form of value in exchange for information, and that information is what you need to continue the relationship. Also, though you won't rely on a single source of lead generation, you also aren't going to do all of them. The most productive agents focus on their 3 to 5 top producing lead sources. So who is willing to share what their top 3, 5 lead generation sources are?
I feel like I'm talking a lot, but
Let's hear
maybe
it.
I've got, you know, the experience, whereas some of these other folks are kind of just getting started. But for me, I have a lot of ministry contacts. Over the last several years, I've been involved in itinerant ministry. So that's something I enjoy doing. You may not be in ministry, but there's something you enjoy doing, like going to the gym, or maybe you play sports, or your kids play sports, or I mean, there's just a plethora of things that we do on a weekly or monthly basis that we do because we enjoy, and they usually have other people involved, right? And so my top is, like I said, ministry contacts over the last 30 years. You know, good friends, past clients that have become good friends and advocates of my business. That would be number 2. And then number 3 is nurturing relationships to move them kind of up the scale from maybe a superficial relationship to an advocate, where I'm an advocate for them and all that they're doing in their life, and they're an advocate for me, and we're prayer partners, and we're doing life together. And the more people that you can move up that line of deep relationship, the more it's going to help your business, but the more it's going to add value to your life. I also use network groups. I've been a part of network groups, business network groups, for 30 years. And because before I was in real estate, I invested in real estate, and I owned an RV dealership. And so I guess I've got a lot of relationships back from just being an entrepreneur all my life. So relationships.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else would like to share? 3 to 5 lead sources that you have. And I know some of us said we weren't tracking, which is okay. That's why we want to track, because that way we know where we're spending our time and what's actually generating us that lead. Okay. So in Ignite, we are going to focus mainly on prospecting because we know successful lead generation is prospecting based. Now, prospecting is also less expensive, and it is what protects your business when the market slows down. Even more specifically, we will focus on prospecting with your sphere of influence. Now, as you gather people's information through prospecting or marketing, or have generated the lead through like an advertisement or however it might be, the next step is to put that information into your database. So whenever you get a contact on your phone, who goes onto command immediately after they get it on their phone? Let me step back a little bit. Who has their command app on their phone? Okay. Yes, okay, I see people online commenting yes, okay. If you don't have your command app, download it, have it on there. That way, whenever you get someone's contact information, you immediately put it onto your command. And it also has a QR code for your business card, so if you don't have a digital business card, they can QR code it and it immediately uploads their contact information. Okay. So your database is simply a container that holds the information for all the leads you have generated. If you're looking for a cost-efficient tool built out your smart database, you know that KW has Command. And Command is more than just a database. It's with this platform, you can have access to other tools to support you from lead to close, all while maintaining your relationships. You can receive leads through your, like if you have your command app, you get all the notifications through here, and it makes it really, really easy. You can see your profit share, you can see, you know, who you have to call, your tasks. So download it and take advantage of that. And if you haven't, talk to Nicole at our market center so she can get you started with that technology as well. Now, a smart database provides you with the ability to have planned and meaningful communication with those in it, which keeps you in relationship. We can think of your smart database as a data bank because it generates money for you, and there is nothing more valuable to your business than your data bank. Now, we use the terminology of leads and contacts to categorize people in our database. And so far in your success system time, you've been communicating with your sphere of influence, people you know or who know you. And these people are contacts with whom you have implicit permission to have two-way conversations. Now remember, check the do not call list before you talk to people. If they're in your contact and they've given you your contact and you have a relationship with them, then feel free to call them. But if you've never spoken to them, make sure you check the do not call list so that we don't get in trouble. Now, leads are people who have shown interest in the service you offer and have provided a way for you to contact them. However, they have not yet engaged in a two-way conversation with you. What are some examples of leads you can think of that you haven't had a two-way conversation with yet? People on social media, people you meet at open houses, they haven't had a two-way conversation with you yet. People in your neighborhood, maybe you don't know Joe down the corner yet. So our database is organized in these two buckets. We have the leads buckets and the contacts, because the way you communicate with each is different. Contacts is people that you already have established a valued relationship with, and a lead is it's a colder approach. So keep that in mind when you're approaching people on your database. What is the purpose of the checkbox if they're a lead in command? I'm not sure what checkbox you mean.
They put an L next to it for
Oh.
lead. Yeah, so when you're filling out your contact,
Mhm.
see, you guys were checking to see if I was listening. You fill out that contact, you mark the box lead, and then it can filter into its own category. So if you were to look for, you may have people that are like vendors in your list and they're not a lead perhaps. It's really how you prefer to look at it, what lens you're looking at it through.
Yeah.
And then you can tag and sort to find the people.
If people download your PW app too, and they choose you as their agent, they also immediately transfer off your command as a lead. Their contact on there. Okay. So once you have a lead, you need to create a relationship with that person. There's no point in having a lead in there if it's just sitting there. You know, if it's just sitting there, it's not doing anything for you. So for contacts, you want to sustain and strengthen your relationship. And with a lead, you have to create the relationship. This is just an introduction into what sustaining relationships look like, since we have a whole section on lead follow-up later in Ignite. Now, sustaining our relationships is what we see in the model as cultivating contacts for conversion. When we say conversion, we mean we move them from a lead or contact to an appointment. Converting a lead or contact to an appointment means that your client has the intent to buy or sell in real estate. So you'll have people that they are a lead, but until you get that initial conversation with them and build that relationship, they're not converted into a contact. Now we're gonna look at the types of lead generation touches in your participant guide with our types of communication. Each time you reach out to a person in your database, that communication is called a touch. And it's a purposely planned series of touches, and it's called a campaign. So a coordinated campaign of touches over time puts you front and center in people's mind when they think of real estate. These touches are how we nurture and strengthen our relationships. So these are all the types of different communication that we can have with clients. We don't always have to be calling people. You know, that would be weird if someone was calling me like all the time and nothing else. I'd be like, stop calling me, please. So make sure that you're incorporating different touches with people. Having someone in your database doesn't make them your client. Now remember, there's how many of you knew multiple real estate agents before you were even in real estate? Yeah. So imagine how many people have the same person's phone number in their database. Just because you have them there does not mean that they're your client. So reaching out to them consistently and systematically with value and deepening of your relationship will lead them to choose to be your client. One of the stories that I can share is that about a year and a half ago, there was a for sale by owner that had her house listed. Shanna's laughing because she knows who I'm talking about. She had her house listed, beautiful house, and as a for sale by owner was receiving a lot of phone calls. I was able to get an appointment with her in person. Ended up actually talking her out of selling at that time because it just didn't make sense for her in that moment, and she had the house overpriced, so it was just not going to sell. And I kept in touch with her. I bumped into her at Wire Road one day and I said hello after just having met her once. And I was like, hey, how are you? It's great to see you. Kept in touch with her, put her on command, and she receives holiday cards, birthday cards, you know, whatever system I have for people, I have her on there. Whenever I have an event for my sphere of influence, I invite her. Whenever something special happens, I try to call her or text her. She's not been big on phone calls, so I usually text her. But what I'm trying to get at is that about last year, not 2023, 2022, I sent out Christmas cards, and I sent her one, just a family Christmas card with like a little story of what our family did that year. She sent me an email when she received it, and she said she thanked me for keeping in touch with her, and that whenever they did decide that they wanted to sell, that they were going to use me. And I've kept in touch, and they're getting ready to hopefully buy this year. So the bottom line is that you just have to keep in touch. You just have to just assume that they're going to be in relationship with you. Just almost like, don't be weird and like pushy, but just assume that they want to be your friend. They gave you your contact information. Show them who you are as a person, and the relationship comes naturally. I didn't really go with the intention of like, oh, she's not gonna like me or whatever. I asked for permission. Hey, can I add you to my newsletter? Can I do this? Can I check in with you? You know, and I knew that it would be okay with her. And so just keep in touch and make that assumptive close. Yeah, that assumptive close of like, they're gonna want to work with me. You know what you have to offer. If you know your value, then just show it to them and they'll be able to see that. Now, one way to consistently and systematically reach out to your database is through automated touches, and that is within Command. You do have access to smart plans and opportunities, and these tools provide you with the option to automate your emails, text messages, and even set up notifications to remind you to call your leads and contacts. How many of you have smart plans set up? Who here does not know what Smart Plans is? Okay, Mary. So Smart Plans is an automated system that we have within KW Command that you can set up with your database. So anyone that you have in Command, all your contacts on there, if you have their phone number, then or email, then you can set them up in an automated smart plan. And it can be something, let's say that I have, I'll make it easy. Let's say I have I have 5 past clients. I tag all of my past clients on Command as past clients, and I set them up on a smart plan that's a home anniversary. So then on their home anniversary, they're going to receive a text message from me saying happy home anniversary, or they'll receive an email, happy home anniversary. Or if you have an open house, you can set up a smart plan for your open house follow-up, where it just sends an automated email or text message saying, hey, it was so nice meeting you at the open house yesterday. I'm available from this time to this time. Would any of those times work for us to chat on the phone and connect? You know, whatever that might be. And if you don't have it set up, like I said, make an appointment with Nicole. She's our tech guru and person in our market center, and she's awesome and loves talking about the KW technology. So take advantage of that. That is an easy way to leverage yourself, because if you have a really large database, or if you have closed a lot of deals, or if you plan on closing a lot of deals, then having that follow-up is going to be less sustainable the more you grow. So take advantage of that. It makes it a lot easy, and just leverage yourself. Take advantage of that leverage.
Thank you.
Okay, so the final piece of the model is the client and referral loop. Once the lead is converted to a contact, they can provide either new or repeat business, or they can provide referrals. So why do you think this part of the model is referred to as a loop? Let's see, Anne, would you mind sharing why do you think it's referred to as a loop?
Because the people that you've worked with are going to then talk about you, and that's the way that you're going to get new names at the top to put back into the process.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. It's called a loop because regardless of the business they bring you or how long it takes them to bring you business, they continue to stay in your database. You don't take them out. It's your job to continue to build and develop your relationship over time until they are ready to transact again and provide additional referral business. Like I said, just remember to stay in touch. That I can't tell you guys how many times I've heard clients say, I don't remember who my agent was, and they bought a house 2 years ago. So, and that is also something important, even when you're referring your clients to another agent. One of the things that I ask is, do you keep in touch with your clients? Because it's a relationship. It's not just a single transaction and let's go. Like, I want to be your friend. Like, I want to be at the baby shower. I want to be at the birthday parties. I want to be, it's a big transaction. It's a big life experience that you're becoming a part of with them. So build that relationship. Now, as you nurture your leads and contacts and continue to lead generate for new sources of business, you will either be transacting from new repeat and or referral business. The most important thing to remember is that lead generation is something that just never ends. Should be time blocked daily for the best result. And it determines the size of your business. And essentially, it is the how that will help you reach the goal for starting this career. Now, how many of us have time blocked daily for lead generation? How many of you actually respect that? Loosely, yeah. If you don't have time blocked for lead generating, then I would invite you guys after class to sit down and look at your schedule and see, it doesn't have to be, usually it's best if it is in the morning because we get busy throughout the day. But if if you work part-time or you have kids or whatever it might be, and it just doesn't work out, just find a consistent time for you to do it and stick to it. It's a bunker down time. Like, no one bother me, no one talk to me, no one speak to me unless you're gonna buy or sell real estate. Like, respect that time. Like, like it's no one's business. Now, in our last section today, we're going to discuss time blocking for lead generation. But before we move on, any questions or big ahas over what you just learned? Questions or ahas? Mary, I want to start calling on you guys.
So I am still in my testing process. So I don't have access to the command, but I'm excited to get in there and start utilizing the tools. So I can see there's a lot there. So that's exciting to know that you're not going to have to remember everybody's birthday and all that. Like, there's something that I can implement or leverage to do that for me. So that's exciting.
Good for you for showing up and being here, even though you don't have access to things, just learning all the things. I see David said, respect your time blocking. Yes, respect your time blocking. Assume they want to be your friend. I'm usually assuming they don't want to be bothered by me. Yeah, just assume, and if they say, hey, I don't want to talk, okay, cool. You move on to the next. Like, just, move on to the next and circle back on a different day. Like, just assume that they want to be your friend. That's awesome. I love that. Okay, now before we move on to the next thing, I'm gonna give you guys a few seconds to stretch and stand up, stretch your legs, move around a little bit. We've been sitting for quite a bit, so if you need to wiggle your legs, get some water, eat a snack. We're home, so we can snack all we want. Use the restroom if you need to. Give you guys a few minutes. Oh, Okay. All right, I'm gonna wait for some of them to come back. All right. We see that Mary's still coming back, Anne is still coming back, and Melissa. Okay. So on to your sphere of influence. Now, in previous sessions of Ignite, we have touched upon your sphere of influence. And today we'll be digging deeper into your SOI and why it is so important for your business. And here is a hint. Your SOI is likely to be your biggest source of new repeat and referral business. But how? Your sphere of influence are the people in your life that you influence and influence you. These can be close relationships like your friends, family, or more distance connections like your child's friend's parents, a former coworker, a neighbor, a mom's friend from college. But it's important to connect with your current SOI systematically, efficiently, and effectively. And we're going to get into that a lot over the rest of Ignite. In order to get most out of the follow-up, you want to get the most people into your sphere. Now, categorizing your sphere of influence. Let's expand beyond your immediate relationships. So one way to expand your SOI is to change how you think about the relationships around you. Let's look at these 15 categories and see if we can expand on the roles or relationships you may have within each category. So for professional services, what are some people that we might know in professional service that's part of our sphere of influence? So like a doctor is a professional service. Who else in a professional service might we know? Melissa? I'm gonna start calling on people. Professional services, so like a doctor, an accountant, yeah. Home and auto, an attorney, your bank teller if you go into a bank, or if you don't go into a bank, maybe you want to start going into the bank more often to make friends with your bank teller. A babysitter. In real estate services, it can be your photographer, your appraiser, your lender. Some small business owner. How many of you go out to small businesses in town and connect with the business owners there? Or the servers? So as you think about these 15 categories, let's take 2 minutes to quickly jot down some people that are in your SOI that you don't think are in your phone, and try your best to add one person to each category. We'll give 2 minutes for that. All right. Now count the names you wrote down. Are we focusing on local? It's on your personal SOI. So whatever applies to you, you can jot those down. All right. So who would like to share how many extra people they came up with?
I just came up with like 3 at the off the top of my head, but I did go to a women's conference that I go to every year. And I was just more intentional about getting phone numbers and contacts, which is something I've never did before. So I just love that this is helping me be more intentional with my relationships,
Yeah.
nurturing them better than I have in the past.
Yes.
I got several contacts actually out there, so that was good.
That's awesome. Okay. Now, okay, so you got 3. So multiply those 3 times 0.81. We're gonna calculate how many more sales that is in the next year.
And where does the 8-1 come from?
0.81.
0.81.
That was from, I believe it was from our initial exercise.
It's 2.43.
So that is. Oh, I lost my page. Sorry. So you would get what was the total? 2 point what?
2.43.
So that's how many you would have 2 more sales in the next year if those 3 contacts buy or sell. That just gives you an idea of what those 3 extra people that you thought of, how many sales that could turn into.
Okay.
Oh, I think it's 0.81. They have a 0.81 on here. Oh, because people move it once every 8 to 10 years. Yes. Okay. Also, feel free to multiply that by the average commission in your area for the additional GCI you can earn. So if you wanted to know the GCI that you could earn from getting closer to the relationship, if you want to take that step further.
And that's the 7,500, is that right?
Yeah. So what's your potential GCI on that?
18,222 or 225.
So
Pretty good.
just 2, yeah. Yeah,
Great.
so as it turns out, your SOI is already even bigger than what we thought.
But I don't think that matches the numbers they gave us on 5.4. It does say to multiply by 0.081 on page 5.4.
So I think this
Because
is
you're
based
saying,
on how
what they're saying is 2 out of every 3 contacts is going to give you a closing. I don't think that's what is that really what they're saying?
If you look at it, that's really a high percentage. I would be thinking more be like 50% of the people that you talk to should result in a transaction or an add to your database, or you know what I mean? Like Maria's been in the business long enough that if she's going to have 10 conversations, at least 5 of those conversations should end in an appointment, right? And then how many appointments does it take to get to a closing?
Yeah.
Maria, does that sound about right?
Yes. Yes. All right, so building your SOI day by day. Who is ready to shift their perspective to help build their business? Yeah, okay. Great. Now I want you to think back on your day yesterday, and we're going to take just a couple of minutes to think back on it from the time you got up to the time you went to bed. When you woke up, what did you do? Call your mom, look at the news on your phone, check if SBS was gonna close, check your email, wake up your kids, grab your workout clothes and go for a run. Now take yourself through your day. Just go through your day, wake up, shower, send a couple emails, get in the car to drive to get coffee, run an errand to drop off your dry cleaning or whatever. And just take a minute to write down where you went and what you did. So just very quickly think about where you went and what you did yesterday. I'll give you guys 2 minutes for that. Make sure you write it down on your participant guide. We have about 1 minute left. Okay, now I want you guys to look at your list and write down who you interacted with or spoke to during those moments. Who was the first person you interacted with? Did you have a conversation? What did you talk about? Who did you email? Who did you call or called you? Who did you say hi to, give an order to, or smile at? Take a minute to go back through your day and jot down the people you interacted with. You don't need to know their names. So if you don't know names, just say the nice lady at the grocery store. And I'll give you guys about a minute for that. Now you have identified the activities and people you interacted with yesterday. Now what I want you to do is think about those interactions. Could you have deepened your relationship with that person, with those people? Could you have smiled to your neighbor and politely said, you know, I see you every other day down the street. What's your name? You know, maybe we're not going outside right now because we'll skate around, but you know, any other day. What about those you didn't interact with? Could you have smiled and said good morning to the barista at Starbucks? And it's time to change the way you think about your days, because we're not just running errands. You're meeting potential buyers and sellers everywhere you go. Everywhere you go. You aren't just ordering coffee, you're creating a relationship with the people who help you. And because of that relationship, you may be poised to help them the day they are ready to buy or sell real estate. I was running an errand the other day and I was just having a conversation with a salesperson. And I was like, how's your day going? "Oh, I'm just having a conversation. And I was like, talking about New Year's resolutions because it was brand new into the year. And she was like, yeah, my big goal this year is to buy my first house. And she's an older lady. And I was like, oh, well, great. I'm a real estate agent. Let me, I grabbed a pen and pencil that was right there. I was like, here's my information. Give me yours. And I did not leave until she gave me her contact information. And that is, you just have conversation with people, just deepen those conversations. I feel like it's really easy just in general in life to go about our day and not ask the other person how they're doing. And that's why we are in a relationship business, because we need to get to know the person to understand what their journey is. And if you just ask questions and get curious, then you might just learn that they're looking for a real estate agent, or that they're thinking about buying or selling in real estate, or that they might have never thought about it and now they will because you'll educate them on it. So your job is to meet and connect with people. If you think about it, it's really cool. You just get to socialize and just connect with people. Go on coffee dates. My business partner, Amy, who was giving classes last week, her schedule is she goes on coffee dates every week with the people that she knows. It doesn't have to be this big thing of, like super cold, I'm in real estate, and if you're thinking about it, let me know. You could just call someone up and be like, hey, haven't talked to you in forever, and I would love to connect with you and go out for coffee and just have a normal conversation. If you ask them what they've been up to, what are they going to ask? What have you been up to? What are you doing? How's real estate? How's the market going? Why do you ask? Why do you want to know what the market is doing? So just have those conversations with people, and the relationship will happen if you continue to keep in touch. Now, in this next activity, you will be having a discussion, or we'll be having a discussion to go over our daily activities. The goal of this activity is to help each other identify places where we might interact more with our sphere of influence and to get into relationship with potential leads. So, who would like to share how you guys spend your days? Jeff?
So up until really it's a New Year's, I don't know if I want to call it a resolution or if I want to say it's just a deepened commitment. I've had a love-hate relationship with Facebook, as probably most of us have. And I've not been consistent with nurturing relationships. And so last week, Shannon talked about the 10-5-1. And so yesterday for me was all about the playoffs because I'm a football fan.
Mm-hmm.
So the only people I really talked to was my daughter and granddaughter spent the night because she went with my wife and looked at wedding dresses yesterday because she's getting married. Yay. And so that was the only interaction I had with people. Well, besides, I did run to the grocery store and I did miss the opportunity to leave my card, which I don't usually do, but I didn't have a card with me, so I didn't leave it with the person that checked me out. But we should always do that, I know. But anyway, what I did do yesterday was I did the 10-5-1 before the football game started. And so I feel like I was productive even on my day off, and I was intentional because I haven't been being intentional with social media. And I actually found out that I enjoyed it because I saw my friends doing some things. I mean, some of it's redundant and crazy, but some of it's really fun to see what people are doing and what their kids are doing, and and be able to comment and to be able to add value and encourage. And I even got in a couple of conversations on Messenger just because of that opportunity. So that's what I've been doing, more intentional with social media.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah. So you added, let's say you did give your bank teller that person, you got that, or the checkout person, your contact information. That's one more person added to your SOI. So who plans to be more intentional with their interactions tomorrow? Because today there's no going out. Yeah. Awesome. Perfect. Okay. So let's read at the bold law, which I think, no, it's a different one I shared. Okay, who wants to read this bold law? Melissa.
That's funny because I was just clicking on so I could read it. Change the way to look at things, and the things you look at change.
And this is a great picture that they have on here because you can look at it and you see different things at once. So as you saw in the last exercise, sometimes all you need to do is think about things from a different angle and you can achieve more. You found more members of your sphere of influence simply by viewing them as categories of people you know. At KW, we have a coaching program called Bold. I'm bold 2 times. Yes, you are. If you've done Bold, you'll know. Now, and you'll have the opportunity to experience at some point. And Bold stands for a business objective, a life by design. One of the great things about Bold is that it helps you create a mindset of abundance and growth. Bold helps you to shift your mindset by using bold laws. So it's kind of like your motto or whatever you want to do. So what you focus on expands is another one. Shanna, what would you say is one of your favorite ones?
The pressure turns diamond, or what is it?
You don't have my bold book close to me.
That's one of my favorites. I always do success is simple, not easy. I love that.
Yeah.
You put me on the spot. I didn't have my book in front of me.
Are you
So
trying to think of coal into diamonds?
That's the one. That's the one.
I was like, it's not rough into diamond. I'm like, I can't think of it.
Not enough caffeine yet.
So this bold law, this is one of of these bold laws that we have. And it's changed the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. What you just did with the 15 categories was a simple example of changing how you look at things, so the things you look at change. And you changed how you look at those and we're able to find more people by doing so. Being a successful agent is about finding more people to help and serve in buying or selling their homes. And when you change how you look at your world, you will find more of those people that you can help. What are some ahas or questions over what we've just learned?
I think I'm gonna definitely try to be more intentional about looking back at my previous day, because like I had 12 contacts yesterday that I didn't even realize.
Wow. That's awesome. I'm like, yes, get in front of those people. That is awesome. Yeah. And I would invite you guys to go back on your practice guide later today and write those names down on the categories and just think about, I was even thinking about it the other day. I'm like, I don't have our pediatrician on there. I don't have our PCP on there. I do have my therapist on there. I'm like, I have all of the people on there. I need to start adding them. So I would invite you guys to definitely do that if you have some time today, and then work on getting those contacts into your database. Any other ahas? Okay. Now expanding your SOI, we've now talked about the lead generation model and why your SOI is one of the most important lead generation sources that we have. And we've also talked about just how many people are already in your SOI and expanded by shifting on how we think about it. Now, who's ready to expand your sphere of influence even further? There we go. Now, a good touch campaign consists of several types of interactions: face-to-face, email, handwritten notes, phone call. And in order to complete these touches with everyone in your SOI and database, you need to have all their contact information. We know we need to fill in information for our contacts. Now, what types of information do we need?
Phone number, email, address.
Hey,
Name, there you go. Work address, name, yeah. Contact information is important because we want to reach out to them in various ways. A handwritten card makes a big impact. I've had multiple people, we send out birthday cards to our database. Facebook is a huge resource if you don't know people's birthdays, by the way. And we added from Facebook onto there. You can add Facebook, you can do all the things. But a handwritten card will go a long way. How many of you have received a handwritten card in your mail recently? Yeah, just one, I see one hand. So yeah, just think about that. Just think about how much more you would stand out if someone received a piece of mail from you at their home address. Imagine mailing an update on the homes that you have sold in your SOI's neighborhood versus sending an email. With an email, your SOI has the ability to click on the hyperlinks to learn more about the homes in your neighborhood. Not only do you want contact information, you also want to gather their personal information. Now, why do you want to gather personal information? What type of personal information do we want? To build rapport, yeah. What's some personal information we can get from people? Their favorite color, if they have dogs, do they have kids, their hobbies, are they from here? Have they always lived here? That helps you understand them better as a person too. And it helps you navigate the conversations a little bit better as well. If you know it's someone's birthday, what could you do to expand your SOI? Anne?
So you could send them a birthday card. You could Facebook message them. You could text them, happy birthday. I saw it's your birthday on Facebook, but I thought I'd reach out and text instead, or I don't know.
Perfect. You could do all three if you have smart plans.
There you go.
You can have an automated one, you can have the Facebook, you can have all the touches. Then they'll really be thinking about you. Then they'll really be like, wow, they do remember my birthday. All right. Just ask. It's the same with other personal information. Knowing they love to crochet allows you to see an article online and share it with them. Knowing they have kids lets you wish them a happy summer or drop off a rainy day, keep busy kid during the second straight week of rain when you know they're likely to be stressed out. Or snowy day. Well, we might not be driving, but when it's dry, you could. Might we also like to know if they're a homeowner or renter? Another way to expand your SOI is to expand what you know so you have more opportunity to connect. Being a renter does not, just because they're a renter does not mean that you should disqualify them from buying. Matter of fact, you should be working them more so that they don't continue renting and help them achieve homeownership. Now that we know we would like to get more information about our sphere, how do we do it? We just ask. If you see it's someone's birthday on Facebook, direct message them to ask them if for their address to send a card. If your neighbor is complaining about low water pressure, ask them for their phone number so you can share the contact information of your favorite plumber. Call your child's friend's mother that you know likes staying on top of what's going on in their neighborhood. Ask for her email address so you can set up a monthly neighborhood nurture email. Those touches bring value to your contact's life. My neighborhood has a list of everyone's contact information. I was so happy about it because they did all the work for me. They gave me all of their contact info, all of their addresses, everything. They provided it so I can add it on there and introduce myself as their neighbor. So just ask. If you don't have your next door neighbor's phone number, be like, hey, I would love to have your number in case I'm ever traveling. Or if you're ever traveling. These touches bring value to your contact's life. Now, another way that we can expand our sphere is to pull those you have casual relationships with into closer proximity. Do not call this isn't an issue when you're in a relationship with people. Yes, yes. We've already talked about this a bit when we went through your day. Start to see your everyday life, tasks, and errands as an opportunity to get into a relationship or closer relationship with people. Do you usually play games on your phone when not cheering on your daughter's soccer team? If so, put down the phone and talk to the parent next to you. Candy Crush can wait. And as we mentioned before, get the name of the barista you see multiple times a week. If you go to a coffee shop often and you don't know your barista's name, you better get on that. These folks may or may not be in the market for a home now, but don't forget that 8.1% of people they know may be. Remember, this is your career, and if they buy a house this year, great. If they buy a house next year, great. If they refer you a business and buy multiple times with you over your career, even better. Now, some other ways that we can expand our SOI is to meet others with similar interests and values. So if you love basketball, why not join a neighborhood league? I just joined a volleyball league with someone that I have a relationship with that I just want to stay close to because I want to nurture them and I want to get to know them and I want to build trust with them. So always wanted to help cleaning up the green spaces in your city, do it. You know, our board has also programs where you can go out into the community and help the community. So just find those things that you enjoy doing. Lead generation does not necessarily need to be you cold calling. It's just you being out in the community talking to people. As we know, real estate is a demanding career. And what career isn't? You're starting a new career and it's important to have a career you enjoy. Go ahead and align your career with your interests and values because those interests and values are what bring you into contact with like-minded people who need a place to live. Another great tip to expand your SOI is to wear your KW name and colors proudly. You go to soccer games for your kids, wear that KW red. You have a hat, wear that hat. You have your KW Capper lawn chair, go on your KW Capper lawn chair. You know, brand yourself as an agent. Get your Amazon, you can get Amazon shirts that say, talk to me about real estate or your local realtor. Get a shirt for your kids and send them to school in it if you want, you know? I did that all the time when I didn't feel like starting the conversation. Yeah, it's an easy way to have conversation with people and add those parents on social media. Be the stalker parent that's like, I'm gonna add you on Facebook. Be that person, stay in connection with them. One of the largest mega agents in our company was forced to leave his entire business when a hurricane devastated his area. He and his wife picked up and moved to a place where they knew no one. They started their lead generation by wearing their company shirts to the gym and around town. With their approachable demeanors and smiles, people asked them about their business. This gave them perfect opportunity to tell people about real estate and help them build a business so large they now own several market centers. Change the way you look at things, and the things you look at change. You no longer have errands. You now have the opportunity to get into a relationship with people and learn how you can help them. Even if it weren't going to make you money, it sounds like a pretty good life. We're in the business of building relationships. So just look at it as that. If you didn't get a transaction out of it, then you got a relationship out of it. When we discussed the lead generation model, we saw your business will come from new, repeat, and referral business. Remember, your sphere of influence are those people who know you, your reputation, and your professionalism, and are likely to give you referrals. Like you, they know lots of people and have their own spheres of influence. And guess what? Most of your sphere wants to help you succeed at your real estate business and are eager to help. You need to be sure your sphere knows that you're a real estate agent and that you want to work with their friends, family, coworkers, and acquaintances. You want to let them know that you would love for them to tell you if they know anyone who is looking to buy or sell. Let's look at some conversation starters and see how simple it is to ask for referrals. All right. Here are some conversation examples that may look familiar. Who would like to build the first? Who would like to read the first one? Let's see.
I can read it. I am building my business on people I know and the people they know. Do you know of anyone from family or friends, work or neighborhood or a group you belong to who's thinking of buying, selling a home, or investing in real estate? I'd be pleased to be a resource for them.
Mhm.
That's great.
Who would like to read the second one?
If you hear of someone with a real estate need, will you keep me in mind and let me know right away?
Mhm. Add a referral question to every person you connect with in your daily success system today. Then add the referral names to your database. So the story that I just read beforehand of the multiple owner market center, it's not me. I wish it was. It's not. My story's not nearly as cool yet. But I moved to Springfield, Missouri with no database, no sphere of influence, didn't know a single person in Springfield, Missouri. And I've been licensed since 2021. So just because you're new somewhere doesn't mean that you can't know someone and that you can't build a brand and put your name out there and connect with people and build relationships with people and ask for that referral question. I had one of my past clients who has used me as an agent, even though he knows multiple people, asking me a real estate question. He was like, hey, we just listed a house. Zillow's been calling me. Why is this happening? Just asking for a resource. And we talked, we chatted for a while. And then I asked him, I was like, hey, since I have you on the phone, do you know of anyone that's looking to buy or sell in real estate? And all you have to do is ask the question and tell them, do you know of anyone? And they will keep you in mind and they will give you someone. And they did have someone. So just ask that question, like, hey, now that I have you on the phone, do you know of anyone that's thinking about buying or selling on real estate? Make them think about it. Stay in touch. Now you'll have time to role play these conversations in your daily success system time today. Now, before we move on, do we have any ahas? One aha. One aha going once. I see you guys writing there, so I'm really excited. I would love to see what all you're scribbling.
my aha is definitely you no longer run errands, you're building relationships.
I love that. Yes. Ask for a referral in every conversation while doing the success system. Yes. Yes. Great stuff, guys. All right. Now that you have a larger and deeper understanding of lead generation and its importance to your business, let's put this into action. As you begin your real estate career, there are some best practices that will help you establish a productive lead generation system. The best lead generation program will be one that you will be consistent with that also delivers leads. Number one, keep track of where your leads come from. If you know that you are not getting leads from door knocking, but you are from open houses, if you're door knocking open houses, then maybe you are. But if you're not getting from one, then just X the one and do the other. If you know that you're not going to be cold calling, but you can door knock and open house, then do that. But make sure that you know where your leads are coming from. Audit your lead sources to determine what your top leads sources are. It is best practice to focus on your top 3 to 5 sources. Diversify your database. An openness to a diverse client base opens opportunities. Diversifying your database today brings more leads today and exponential future growth. Diversity is not one thing, for example, race. Diversity is what makes each of us unique. It's about our cultural backgrounds, experiences, personalities, beliefs. It includes race, nationality, gender, physical and mental ability, spiritual and religious beliefs, class, sexual orientation, and more. A diverse database and SOI prepares your business for changes in the market. The broader and more inclusive your client pool, the more ready you will be for changes from demographic shifts to new trends in the real estate industry. So don't just stick to the one. Make sure that you know that there's different people out there with different backgrounds that you can help. And that is a beautiful database and SOI to have. And make sure that, most important, you are consistent and lead generate every day. Consistency over intensity. You can spend one day lead generating for 4 hours. That's not gonna give you leads for forever. If you lead generate for 1 hour every day, now we're talking. So make sure you stay consistent. Now we're going to refer to your participant guides. There's one additional best practice, and that is time blocking your lead generation time and protecting that time block. Now, how will you ensure that your lead generation time is a priority? Someone tell me, how will you ensure that your lead generation time is a priority?
Maybe make it the first thing you do every day.
Mm-hmm. Have you
Protect it
been-
and respect it.
Protect it and respect it. Make it an appointment on my calendar. Yes. Have you been making your daily success system a priority? That's huge. There's an agent in our office that when she first started, her name's Paulina. You can ask her. She'll tell you it's true. There's a picture of it. She put on her chair, "Do not talk to me. I'm lead generating, and I will get distracted." You do that. If you need to do that, do it. Put a paper up. Don't talk to me. Put it, plaster it, do whatever it is that you need to do to make sure that your lead generation time is protected and that no one is disrespecting that time.
Career mindset practice.
Now, top agents time block lead generation first. Most top agents lead generate for 3 or more hours a day. It's best to schedule your lead generation time, that is, take action on your job one before anything else. Block this time in your calendar as essential. It's as important to your business as brushing your teeth every morning is to your health. If you've been doing this in your daily success system since the beginning of Ignite, you will continue with this schedule after Ignite for your entire career. This time consists of several activities: preparing your mindset to success, practicing with a partner. So I saw hands raised today that we wanted accountability partners for script practice. If you don't have one, talk to some of us at the office or text some of us in the group and say, hey, I really want a partner. Help me find one, and we'll find one that will work. Prepare a call list in advance of contacting people. How many of us have gotten down to sit down to lead generate and we spend our entire time figuring out who we're going to call, and then we give up? And then we're like, well, that took my whole time. I'm done. Set time aside to have that prepare. If you have an admin, have your admin prepare a call list for you. Have conversations. Take action and have conversations. And maintain up-to-date database by pulling in notes from your conversation. You can literally, Command is your hub. You can put notes on there. You can put when you called someone, what date, what you talked about. Everything can be on there. And it makes it so easy because you can look at your contact and you can look at everything you did. So make sure you're taking advantage of Command. And follow up any commitments or promises made. If you know that you're not going to call in 2 days, don't say you're going to call in 2 days. If you know you are, then do, but don't make promises you can't keep, because then you lose with people. Now, say lead generation is hands down, without a doubt, no competition, your number one most important thing to do in order to succeed in this business. Therefore, you must mark off time to do it and do it well. There are 4 key things you can do to protect your lead generation time block once you set it on your calendar. Build a bunker time. Find somewhere to work that takes you out of the path of disruption and interruption. Where will you work to avoid distractions? Is it in a conference room at the market center? Is it in an office with another accountability person? Is it you get on a Zoom call with someone and you guys just mute each other while you're both lead generating? Whatever it might be, just build that bunker. Store provisions, have supplies, materials, snack, beverages you need on hand to avoid leaving your bunker. I can't tell you how many times I've been guilty of, I'm going to do my lead gen time. And then I sit down and then I'm like, a snack sounds really nice. And then I go to the kitchen and then I grab a drink and then I start cleaning my kitchen and then I start putting groceries away and then I start thinking about the kids' lunch and then my lead generation time is over. So make sure that when you're lead generating, you are coming in here locked and loaded, ready to go with all the things you'll need. Sweep for minds. This means that you will anything that will distract you or take you off your focus. Turn off your phone if you can. Obviously, if you're calling, you can't, but shut down your email. If you're lead generating, you're not emailing. Man, don't tell me that you're going to lead gen through email, because I have a hard time believing that one. And exit your internet browser. No Facebook, no Reddit, no whatever it is that people browse on, no Amazon shopping. Remove your distractions and enlist support. Tell those most likely to seek you out on what you're doing and when you'll be available, who will help you. So one of the things for me is I struggle and I'm working on managing my ADHD. And part of that is acknowledging and being able to identify where are the ways that I struggle with. So I told our admin, I was like, Bree, when you're in your bunker time, because she has her own bunker time, I'm going to be in mine, which means that all I'm to be doing during that time is lead generation. And that works great because then I won't distract you in your bunker time. So find those ways in which you need support. If you know that you are not going to be able to sit down and do lead generation on your own for whatever amount of reasons, get a partner, meet via Zoom. There's KW also has a bunch of different resources and Facebook groups where you can buddy double and you just go, they have an ongoing Zoom link where you can just hop on, turn your camera off if you want, turn your mic off if you want, and all you're doing is lead generating, but you're doing it virtually with other people so you don't feel like you're doing it alone. It's kind of that science of when you know people are coming over to your house, so you immediately deep clean your house. It's body doubling. It's that idea of someone's coming, I need to do it. It's the same idea of I'm on Zoom, someone's watching me do it. Just find the things that work for you and make sure that you enlist that support. If you don't have a script practice person, enlist that support in your market center. Take advantage of your ALC people and your team leadership. If that's something that you really want to, you know, plug into, we will help you find the resources for that. And you can find a lot of these tips on the book, The One Thing. And if you haven't read it, you totally should. It's great. It's a great book to read. Any ahas? We talked a lot about what you're already doing to lead generate, what you can add to your everyday routine, and how important time blocking for focused lead generating is. How's your mindset now?
Inspired.
Good. I love that.
I seen lead generation as a huge block and like something I probably couldn't do and like all that. And I love to see it now as just building relationships. I love that.
Yeah.
It's exciting now.
Name it that on your calendar. You know, I have a notes app, a notes thing on my iPad, and I call it building relationship time. And I have it open on there. And that's where I take my notes, and that's what I do. When I shift that mindset, it definitely helps. What are your questions or concerns, if any? Your ahas. I'd like to hear from 2 or 3 of you.
I have a question. When is the next bold class? Do we know that?
Yeah, no, I don't know if we do.
Oh.
It's usually in August.
October.
October, sorry.
I think it's October this year.
Okay.
Yeah. And the Market Center will make sure that everyone knows, believe me. You will not miss it. What would you say your call to action is from today's session? So what are you gonna do as soon as you get off this phone? This Zoom? For today? Some actionable items.
Schedule my bunker time.
Yes. Jeff.
I would say see every person in your life as the potential we've been talking about to build a relationship, not necessarily sell or buy real estate today, but build a relationship, get them in your database, continue to nurture that relationship, and then the real estate will come.
Yes, the real estate will come. Another thing that you could do is join a group to meet new people. One of the things I'll be doing is connecting with my SOI and asking for additional contact information and referrals. And remember, guys, that just because you, like, for example, for myself, I've lived in a different state, in a different country. I have people all over. That is still your sphere of influence. You can build relationships with agents in those places and refer them. So everyone that you know anywhere is SOI for you? One of my friends in California, she just messaged me and said, hey, my friend's gonna buy within this year. She's moving to Springfield, Missouri. Super random. She was like, I never thought I'd have someone to refer you to Springfield, Missouri, but here I am. So just know that the people in your sphere of influence can be anywhere. Jeff.
So to tag on to that, it's been mentioned several times in this class about referring people out of state or out of this location. You may not feel comfortable selling real estate, may not have the
Yeah.
know-how up in Kansas City, even though you're licensed in the state of Missouri, you may not have expertise in Kansas City. So no matter whether it's someplace else in the state or it's out of state, my experience has been, well, I've never been paid less than 25% of the commission that real estate agent received. So, it's a decent chunk of money, to refer other Keller Williams people outside of this area, and they're more than happy to give you 25% of their commission. And it gives you that opportunity just to build a deeper relationship with people outside our area and nurture those relationships as well.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for sharing. And thank you guys for showing up today and participating. It really means a lot. The way there's another bold law that says the way that you show up here is how you show up everywhere. So I appreciate you guys for showing up in this weather and participating and, saying all the things, because online is hard and having participating people is awesome. So each day in Ignite, you grow in how you think, feel, act, and implement what you've learned. From learning and ahas, you move toward achievement of your big life. And that's what we're here for, right? To achieve your big goals. So in your participant guide, I want you guys to write how you've grown in each of these areas. Allow yourselves about 3 minutes to do that. Just write about how you feel like you've grown in the area since you've started Ignite. How has your thinking changed? What ideas or mindsets were new? What do you feel differently about? What was meaningful for you today? How will your behaviors be different going forward? What actions will you take? What tools, models, or systems will you use, and how will they make you accountable? Give you guys about 3 minutes for that. Okay. Now, let's see. Anne, would you care to share?
Sure. What am I sharing?
What did you write down about aspects in which you've grown from the questions that you see on the screen? So like actions that you'll take or
So, yeah, action was make a plan and set aside time. And then my thinking changed, the whole idea of using every interaction to cultivate relationships. And my feelings changed about the fear factor. This one's kind of a big one for me because I don't generally initiate very well. If somebody wants to initiate contact with me, I will totally engage in it. I'm not necessarily shy as far as, you know, having a conversation, but starting it has always been difficult for me. So this is definitely a personal growth area, probably one I've needed for a long time. So I am less scared after our conversation today. I still love the assume they want to be your friend. It kind of dovetails with something that hit me last year when I was receiving some information also about a different thing. But what they said was treat everyone like they like you.
Mhm.
And so to me, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Rather than being scared of how they're going to respond, just assume it's going to be a positive thing. So that's
Yeah.
kind of huge for me.
Wow, thank you for sharing. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. And it's true, it's hard not to get in our heads and think, oh, they're not gonna like me, oh this, oh that. But yeah, just go in with that mindset of when we do bold, there's this practice that they tell us they're happy, they're waiting for my call, they're excited to hear from me. So if you need to tell yourself that before lead generating, just hype yourself up, put whatever song you like to put on and like, you know, get excited, get pumped up and tell yourself like they're happy, they want to hear from me, they want to use me as their agent. Just, you know, just use that power of mindset to motivate yourself. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. Anyone else? Jeff?
I just wanted to tag on to that. Have you ever heard of the term inverted paranoid? So you know what a paranoid person is, right?
Yeah.
He's out to get me. So a paranoid person is everyone's out to bless me.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. 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 And just remember something again from Bold. Everything's coming from Bold right now because we just talked about it. But one of the things that our coach said this past year was, and if they, you know, if they say something rude or if they're mean to you, just remember that they're doing the best they can. And when you take that emotion out of it, because you don't know what that person is going through, you don't know if they're, you know, in a bad mood because maybe they were changing a diaper and their kid made a mess and you just happened to call them in that moment and it's annoying them. Just don't take it personal. Let it slide through you and just say like, you know what? They're doing the best they can. It is not about me. It is not about me. And then we just move on to the next. Yeah. Anyone else? So taking the time to reflect on what you've learned is important to building your confidence and celebrating your growth. And we'll do this activity after each learning session so you can keep track of your learning journey. And now we're going to move on to our important success time where we work in our business together while supporting one another. Now for the next 2 hours, we will together on our success system. So you guys are more than welcome to. We can do some role play conversation through Zoom for a little bit, and then we can stay on Zoom to do that 10-minute preparing a call list, whether it's your sphere of influence, people on Facebook, whatever that might be. It's going to look different for all of us. And then we're going to do a 45-minute real play. Now for the real play, so that we don't interrupt and distract each other, we can just all mute ourselves and it's just going to help us for accountability. to actually do it in real time. Now, Mary, you mentioned, are you in getting your license, or are you
Yeah.
licensed?
I'm about halfway through my 48.
Okay. Shanna, for someone that's not licensed, can they still let people know that they're in the process of getting licensed, or?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
tell your story, right? So find your sphere of influence. This is a great time to start building your contacts out. And hey, this is what I'm doing. Follow my progress. Everybody wants to see you succeed. They want to hear from you. Get their information so that when you do launch your career in real estate, they know what's going on and you have all of that information out there.
So your real play, Mary, and if there's someone else in the group chat, I'm just picking on you because you shared, so I apologize for putting you on the spot. But if there's anyone else that has not completed their school but is in the process, this is a great time in your real play time to still reach out to your people and say like, hey, I'm in the process of finishing my real estate school. I would love to add your contact information, whatever. You can make it sound however you want to make it sound. But that'll be a great opportunity for you to practice that, that contacting people and building that relationship. And then after we're done with that, we'll spend 30 minutes updating our database. So just making sure that if you gathered information, I normally have, now it's my iPad, but I normally have my iPad or a piece of paper where I write the person's name and I take notes, and then I transfer everything onto my Command. If you don't have access to Command yet, just make sure that you keep those notes safe. And as soon as you get access to it, you'll be able to just upload everything. Now, these activities are daily habits of success. We practice them every day in Ignite, and you will continue with this rhythm for the rest of your career. You could literally use this, you could literally use this 20 minutes role play, 10 minutes preparing, 45 minutes real play, and 30 minutes updating as your standard order of practice for every day that you're lead generating. That way, you know you have a time to begin and a time to end, and you could just set a little timer on your phone, and you know that it's not going to be going on forever, and you end your misery soon enough. I'm just kidding. Calling people. So track the time for each segment of the success system and alert. I'll let you guys know when to move on from the activity that we are doing. Okay. So let's move into our success system time, keeping in mind that the purpose is to develop the mindset, skills, and tools you need to build relationships and secure an appointment with a potential buyer or seller. Your daily success system tracker includes 10 conversations with your sphere, people you know and who know you, 10 contacts added to your database, name, phone, address, and more, 10 handwritten notes saying thank you and letting them know you're in real estate or appreciated referrals or whatever it might be, birthday, and utilizing the 10-5-1 model for social media engagement and any other enrichment that you might have. You will be accomplishing many of these goals during your success system time, and keep doing these activities outside of class time or our time together as well. During the final update time, you may also write notes and engage with social media if time allows. Any questions as we get started?
So I've been reaching out to people and letting them know that I've been challenged, to get their email for my future newsletter, that I'm getting into real estate. Is it too much to also ask for like an address as well, or is that a later touch point?
Or you could do it right away and just say like, hey, I'm getting in real estate and I'm gathering people's information. And one of the things that I really want to do this year is be able to send the people that I know a birthday card. Can I have your address so that I can send that to you? If they don't want to give you their personal address and they say that like, oh, I don't feel comfortable, there's other ways you can find people's addresses, and we can chat about that. Or I can put the link on the chat, but
Good.
you can ask, oh, your work address works fine. Like, you don't need to ask them for if they really, really are fighting you, then you can just ask for their work address. I am putting on here, let's see.
I started looking back through my messages of like when they've sent me their address to come over or something. So I have access to that.
Yes, yeah,
Yes. Okay.
you can definitely access that, yes. Okay. Okay, so the first job of real estate agent is lead generation because the activity of generating leads is the foundation of your business. In addition to practicing conversations and dialogues, will prepare you for success. That is appointments, signed agreements, signed contracts, and sales closed. Now, of course, before we get involved in conversations with our sphere and lead generating, you guys, we have to remember to stay compliant with our do not call list, so that we don't get in trouble for that. There's a resource for it. If you go, I don't know, Shan, do you have the link for the TCPA? Or the
No, so we have a do not call registered contact or whatever. It is something's going on with it, so I've been working behind the scenes to try and figure it out. You are free to register on the do not call list yourself. The issue is that it costs money to buy a zip code. So we are having some kind of malfunction with it, but that's where door knocking, sending letters, and being in relationship with people will get you out of the TCPA issues. But we are working on it. I should have something today, and I will get that out to everybody.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So if you have people's phone number, if they're in relationship with you, then you don't have to worry about the TCPA. Now, if it's someone that you met and, you know, that you haven't met, I don't know, like I don't know, give me an example, Shan, of someone that you wouldn't
A
call.
cold lead, right?
Oh.
Like an expired listing, a canceled listing. You can call a for sale by owner. They've publicly put their information out there. So, but yeah, if you're doing circle prospecting or cold calls, you always err on the side of caution.
Yes.
But anybody who's registered on your site and given you their information or publicly put it out there like that should be good.
And if you so happen to call someone that tells you that they're on the do not call list, you can just apologize profusely and tell them that you will not bother them again. Or you can ask them if you have permission to call them and follow up with them. You can work that however you'd like. Okay. Now, before we begin with our calling, we're going to begin by getting our mindset primed for success. I have like all of my windows opened all at once. I'm like, what am I looking at right now? Okay, so we're going to do this with an affirmation. And normally I have you all read it at the same time, but we can't, so I'm just going to read it with you guys and follow along. I engage every conversation in the spirit of contribution, and people are happy to be in relationship with me. Now, if you want to change that up and say they are happy to hear from me, they are expecting my call, you can say whatever you want to say. We're just setting our mindset right for our practice. Okay.
Hey, Shan, I have a question for you. I don't know if it's just me or if you've heard this, but I had Amy send me the KW app last week, like a client would see. So she sent me like her business thing. And so I was going through and trying to check it out and get familiar with what they're seeing and that kind of thing. And when I go into the more and then the Keller Covered and the Keller Home Loans, it just keeps kicking me out. Like it just.
So in our area, so Keller Covered is like insurance, and I don't believe in our area it's approved. So that's where the link is nationwide and it won't let you push forward on something that our area locally wouldn't
Okay.
have. That's my understanding. Now, I will get with Nicole and definitely find out. The Keller Mortgage, you should be able to click right through. So there could be a glitch in the system. Sometimes with apps, we have to erase them, delete them, and then re-download them, and everything seems to work fine. That's tech for you. But we don't have the Keller covered in our area.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, would we like to do some script practice, Shan?
Yeah. And the reason we get away from calling it script practice, which we're old, so we're always going to continue to say that, is we call it conversation practice or dialogue practice because we don't script, right? We don't have a script that we're following that we're coercing, whatever that is, people to do what we want them to do. We're learning how to have a conversation with somebody. And the reason we practice it is because so many of us are so busy waiting for our turn to talk that we're not actually listening to what they're saying. So if you have practiced what you think that they're going to ask or rebuttal, and that you can easily jump right in and say, yes, I know what to say, you're not searching for your words. You're not thinking, well, did I hear what they said? Does that make sense, friends?
Yes.
What do you guys want to practice?
Well, I got an open house lead yesterday and I have it on my call list for today.
Great. Do you want me to be the open house person and you be the agent?
We can do that.
Sounds good. Okay. Call me up.
Well, I was remembering what their name was and it's really hard, so I need to figure out. I'm just gonna call him Haas for now. Because his
Right.
name started
Phone's
with
breaking up. I can't hear you.
I know. I was like, I don't know how to say this name and I don't want to butcher it. Okay. All right. I'm ready. Ring ring.
Hello?
Hi, is this Haas?
This is. Who's this?
Hi, Haas. This is Maria Galgano. We met yesterday at the open house. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Which open house? I went to 3 of them.
Oh, it was the one in Anthony Park, the one on Dollison. It had,
Oh,
yeah, it had that huge refrigerator that we really liked talking about for a while.
yes, I can fit all my food in there.
Oh my gosh, it's huge. I wanted to take it home with me. So I was actually calling you because I wanted to schedule a time to meet in person and go over your buyer's needs assessment. I know you mentioned you guys were just starting to look, and I would love the opportunity to sit down and work with you on that.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, we are just in the very beginning. So do you think we need to do that now?
Yeah, you know, I normally recommend clients to initially meet with an agent, and then the agent will go over your needs assessment and the process of it. The process looks different for everyone, and it's never too early to start so that you know where you're standing.
Okay. Yeah, we could do that.
Awesome. So I have availability Tuesday or Wednesday in the morning before 11 a.m. or after 4 p.m. Is there a time that will work best for you?
Wednesday after the later availability.
Okay, how about we do 4:30 p.m.?
Perfect. Where
Huh?
are we meeting? Are you coming to my house or?
We'll meet at my office. I'll send you
Oh.
the instructions. Yeah.
Okay, because I'd have to clean if you were coming over.
No. So I won't be coming over there. We can do the buyer's needs assessment in my office. Yes.
Okay, sounds good.
Awesome. Well, I'll see you on Tuesday then.
Sounds good. How about Wednesday though?
Yeah.
All right, give her a round of applause.
I was like, which day did I say? Did I say Wednesday or Thursday? I like lost.
So what kind of feedback do you have for Maria?
I don't have my iPad. Throw it on me, guys. Don't be scared.
So
She was fine. She was good. What do you got, Mary?
the buyer's need assessment, that is kind of, that's what you're.
Yeah, so I normally call it a needs assessment or wow, I'm
I like to call it a strategy session.
a strategy session. That's what I was looking at. A buyer strategy session or your needs session, whatever you want to call it, your guide, your buyer guide presentation. I normally call it strategy session or a buyer's need assessment. And what I tell them is that this is where we go over what their needs are as far as buying or selling in real estate and what that process will look like.
And I think what's really important is what Maria will do is spend 80% of that consultation on their motivation, right? The criteria is easy. It's 3 beds, 2 baths, whatever. And then it's all about getting the motivation by asking deeper questions. So when they say 3 beds, okay, great. What's important about having 3 bedrooms, right? Do we need a room for the dogs? Do we need a room for an office? Because if it's a 3 bed plus an office, that's a different search, right? So we can't ever use assumptions on anything that we do. And then the motivation that she's going to uncover by having absolute clarity on their needs will then help them through this entire process. She'll also be able to vet them very early on whether or not they're ready now or ready later.
Yes. And I normally also set the expectation of, we're gonna go over what the process is, and we're gonna go over, I tell them, like, we're gonna go over employment documents, and I'm gonna ask you at the end of our meeting if there's any reason why you wouldn't use me as your real estate agent. That way they already go with the expectation that you are going to show them some documents and go over things and explain everything thoroughly for them. And then once it's just getting them to the meeting really, and just scheduling it. One of the tips that I've taken is don't ask them when, like, don't just say, what's your availability like? Give them some days and times, like, hey, I'm available, give them 2 days, like, Wednesday, Thursday, I usually give morning and afternoon, just because some people work mornings until the afternoon and some people don't. So just having that balance in there also helps.
That's good. Thank you.
Sorry, Shan, you were about to say something.
No, I don't remember at this point. Oh, I do. The part about getting them to sign with you, they're expecting that. If they were going to come to your office and meet with you, it is no surprise that you're going to ask them to sign some kind of paperwork. When we get in our own heads and make up some story that we're telling ourselves on why they don't want to sign papers with us, that's where you have to kind of remove from your thoughts. Because if I'm going somewhere to have a strategy session or a consultation and Maria is going to explain the process to me and explain what happens next, it's just a natural progression for her to say, now here's what this paper means. This paper means that you're going to hire me to work for you and with you, and we are together on this, and you're not going to cheat on me.
Yep.
So how would you handle it if the person was not wanting to meet face to face?
Okay. Not wanting to meet face to face. I would say, okay, I can completely understand that. Would Zoom be better, or would you rather have a phone call?
Yeah.
I like to meet face to face because I feel like in person we get more like I can read the body language, right? So we're going to get further faster by meeting face to face because we're going to be partners in crime. However, I made a living off of doing 100% consultations, building rapport and all of that over the phone. And then I would queue them up to meet with an agent, and it was a done deal. So you can 100% do this over the phone if you have those abilities and skills to hold that conversation on the phone and get their buy-in and build rapport. Not everybody can do that. If you can, great. The next best option is to Zoom, right? We have people that are in other states. How do you have a consultation? It's a lot of phone calls, and it's over the phone. And then it's hey, at the end of this, I'm going to send you some documents. You have the ability to sign them via DocuSign. I can go over them with you. I can Zoom with you and show you what all this means. And honestly, if somebody's not here, I don't know how real they are until they sign with me.
Yeah.
So I was talking with an agent who basically gives away one showing. She'll take them to see one house, and then she'll get the papers signed.
Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that either. It's a personal preference, right? And this is your business to run it how you so see fit. You legally cannot advise them, right? There's a whole broker, legal, what have you. if we can get that buyer consultation on the front side, you will have a better, smoother transaction the whole way through because you have set the tone and the expectation. More often than not, we're not able to get that. We're going to give them that showing for free because we're going to collect that lead somehow. And they're going to say, "And can you get me in this house?" And you are going to be so excited. You're going to say, "Yes, absolutely." And if this isn't the house, I really want to make a strategy session. I like to do this professionally, and I want to make sure that I understand what we're looking for. So it is always best use of both of our time.
Mhm.
But a lot of people will
Okay.
do that. Some people will do one showing. Some people will do 3 or 4 showings. It's totally up to you. But just know until they sign with you, Mary could be showing them, I could be showing them, Maria could be showing them, and there's no protection for you. And it's a loyalty agreement is what it is. And it's more so a
Yeah.
loyalty agreement for you to them, so that if
Mhm.
you know of what they're looking for, that you can bring it to them first.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
I hear
so
that.
yeah, once you know your value and you can get behind the understanding of all of what all of it means and you simplify it and make it less scary, it's so much easier. Great question though.
Yes.
So I have this down. Is this kind of safe to say? So this paper means you're in good hands with me, and I can know you're ready for me to get to work for you. Is that
I'd clean it up a little bit, but yeah.
okay? In the ballpark somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, there's this level of speaking their language and being professional, right? So Maria and I actually just had a conversation about this recently. And when we say things like, "Oh, a listing's expired," or a CMA, or use these unique verbiage that's for real estate, it's over their head sometimes. And then you sound like you're talking at them. And so building rapport is often about using their vocabulary back at them. So there's this fine line of if that's how they're talking to you, you talk it back to them, and
Right.
also maintaining a professionalism. So I think, you clean that up, but you also want to, hey, I will go through this line by line with you and explain every single lawyered up word to you. The gist of it is this is a piece of paper that's binding us in agreement. We're going to work together.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm just like, preach.
And sorry if you hear like snarling in the background. My dogs have made it up here finally and they're wrestling. So
Yeah. Any other script practices that you guys can think of that you'd like to go over? Or role play or conversation starters?
Is it normal for like a brand new agent to have an experienced agent go out with them like the first time, just to kind of, is that something that happens or no? You just go out and kind of wing it and hope that you
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is just, going out there and boots on the ground. That's you learn by doing. Now, if you would like to shadow an agent at an open house or shadow an agent at a showing, that's definitely something that you can ask in the internal Facebook group.
Okay.
There's many agents that are willing to do that and just kind of show you how they do things. Now, you just got to keep in mind that everyone's style is different. So you'll go and learn, and then you'll take whatever you want to take and make it your own and put your own twist and personality to it. So yeah, that's definitely an option that you can look at.
That's good. Oh.
Any other ones?
Question about when you put an activity in somebody's on a contact. Is there a way to do that in Command?
Oh, like change the activity.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me open my command.
I know you can add an activity. Is that what you're asking? Like when you are on your app and you call somebody?
I added one, but I put the wrong date on it because it wasn't from today.
If you
And
go in
I
your
can't.
timeline, you might be able to edit it in your timeline. Other than that, it's just going to show
Yeah, that's
activity
what-
that was, and that it's not the end of the world. It's not a big deal. The good news is that you're recording your activity, which then
Okay.
you and I can have a conversation and say, all right, Anne, you're doing all the front loading activities to be able to get where you're trying to go. Versus, let's say I'm working with Mary, Mary's not entering that in. I'm just going off of her word. And my guess is she's probably not recording it. So are we getting really good information? Do we know where her best use of time is if we're truly not tracking what we're doing and what's getting us the results? Bless
Okay,
you.
that works. Thank you. Tried to mute that in time.
Any other conversations that you want us to role play? We can do one more.
Would you guys like to do a role play on just a SOI telling them you're in real estate?
I'm still very, so the people I'm close to, I've already talked to. So now you're talking about the people on my sphere of influence that I haven't talked to in years.
Mhm.
And to call them up out of the blue, I feel like they're going to see right through me.
Sure.
And so I feel like in some instances, I'd rather reach out to some people via email only, you know, like my first newsletter. Hey, I'm in real estate. Hi, you know, or even a text seems just a little bit like, oh, you know what? You were Susie's coach 3 years ago, but hi, I'm in real
Mhm.
estate now. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So,
You got to be authentic, right? And you do a few things. One, you either give them the value, you're calling for value, right? Hey, I'm in real estate and I'm working on my vendor list. I want to make sure that I'm recommending the top of the top. And, you know, I came across your name in my list and I know this is crazy because we haven't spoken in years. Own it. And then say, you know, have you worked with a great electrician or a great whatever? Or if you know what they do, call them and ask them about their business, right? But you could also email them first or text them first and just say, hey, I've been challenged to reach out to relationships that I've neglected over the years. And I just wanted to check in and see how you are, right? Like you make it like whatever. But no, I wouldn't call somebody that was Susie's coach 4 years ago that I haven't spoken to since and be like, hey, Donna, it's Anne. Just let you know, I'm in real estate. If you want to buy, sell, or invest, think of me. I'd be like,
right.
Are you?
right? But if you find a reason to reach out to them, some kind of value, or go in the other way, just like you were saying, there's nothing wrong with sending them an email and saying, hey, I'm updating my address book. And I noticed I haven't spoken to you since Susie doesn't play soccer anymore. How are you? You know, like that's authentic. It's not, you don't have to see right through you. You're just owning the truth.
Okay.
And if there's
That's
somebody
good.
that you're that uncomfortable reaching out to, that probably don't belong in your list of people to reach out to then, right?
Okay. Am I allowed to do that? I thought I had to like everybody on my phone list now is part of my sphere of influence. So now I have to find some way to reach out to them.
It's going to be easier than going and finding cold people because they have met you, they know you in real life, and this is your business to run it how you so see fit. And if they're not somebody that, if they did a transaction and they didn't use you, you wouldn't be upset about it.
Okay. All right. That's fair. That makes me feel better.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
your
I'm trying to
choice.
do all the things.
Oh
I
yeah,
get
no,
that.
there's definitely people on my phone that are in my sphere of influence that I'm like, I don't care if you don't ever use me as an agent, and that is totally fine. Now, don't have calling bias where you like are like, oh, well, I haven't spoken to this person in like Susie from coaching or whatever from 4 years ago. I probably shouldn't reach out to them. And that's your only reason not to. Now, if there's a deeper reason not to call someone, then yeah, you don't call them. But
Okay.
Like, I'm not gonna call my ex-husband's new girlfriend to, you know, do
Right.
real estate, even though she might use me because she likes me better than him. But
Right.
you know, that's a thing. Wait,
Yeah.
oh, this is gonna go on our YouTube page. I better. This might get booted out.
Yeah, but exactly. Yeah. So that's why we prepare a list, which is gonna take me to my next point. We are going to prepare your conversation list. So take some time to write down names, phone numbers, and emails of people that you want to talk to. And make it, make it a SMART goal. Something that that is tangible. What's the meaning of SMART again? It's
Specific, measurable,
measurable, whatever.
Attainable.
attainable.
So make it a SMART goal. If you know that all you have in you is to call 5 people every day, then make a list of 5 people that you call every day. And make that your ongoing list, but make sure that you prepare your conversation list, because if not, then you're going to spend the entire time figuring it out. And it's good that you have a time limit, because then you're like, okay, 10 minutes, I get to focus on the people I'm going to call. And then you spend that time doing it.
SMART goals, SMART, specific,
SMART goals.
measurable, achievable or attainable, relevant, and time.
Yes.
So when you make a goal, what's your time limit on it? When you make a goal, is it relevant to getting your result?
Mm-hmm.
Measurable. It's not a feeling. You've got to be able to track it. I did it or I didn't do it.
Mm-hmm. So then you can spend some time working on that list. And then after we have that list, we move to real play. So, Shan, do you want us to stay on Zoom for the real play, or should I move on to the update contacts follow-up?
I would just let them go for their real play. Just take this time. You're home, right? You've got nothing better to do than to go generate for your business. So once Maria has finished everything, where she normally would be in a room with you while you're working through this, she's going to cut you off of here and let you go.
Yes. Okay, so one of the things that I will show, just for the sake of, because oh, no, didn't do that. I'm gonna show you guys how you can add a contact on command real quick.
Yeah, I already know. And Mary doesn't have access to command, but maybe she'll want to see anyway.
Yeah, so we can play along this one a little bit. Let's see. Oh, actually. Add someone from my. All right. I'm gonna add an agent. I know. Okay, so when this is what your command looks like, Mary. This is your home page, and it might look a little bit different when you're brand new. I can't remember what it looks like now, but you can add tasks on here. It tells you birthdays, anniversaries, all of this stuff. And then you can click on contacts here to add someone. And you have add contacts right here. And we will add Elise Schmidt. And then her email, Elise Schmidt @kw.com. And then your lead source. This is awesome for tracking your lead sources like we were talking about. So if it's someone that you met at an open house, you can put it on there and it already has one. And then you can add tags as well. So if it's a buyer, or if it's like, for example, if it was someone from one of the groups I'm a part of, I would put this tag on here, just to know what group they belong to. So you can add as many tags as you like. And then you can add their home address, any additional phone numbers, birthdays, where they work. So there's a lot of information that you can add on here, and you can get as deep into it or as not as deep into it as you want. The most important thing is that you have their phone number, email, and home address. And then you'll be able to get most of the stuff. And then as you build the relationship, you feed your database. And then you click on create, and they'll be on your CRM right here.
That's good.
All right. Now remember, guys, that there's different ways of communication with people, and remember to write thank you cards to those you called. You can tell them thank you for your time, thank you for, responding to me, whatever it might be. Something small goes a really long way, and something as small as you sending a thank you card for them picking up your phone call might mean something really big to them. Okay, well, with that, I'm gonna let you guys go on to do your real play. Thank you guys again so much for showing up and participating and being present. It really means a lot that you guys were so active and just participating in the class. We really appreciate it. And I look
And
forward
thank you,
to-
Maria. You did so great. We love you.
Guys, thank you. All right, well, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Stay safe out there.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.